So, Key.
Yep.
Tried to explain to everyone last year that it was not the Jets' year. This year, I'm feeling much more optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. So, will we see the Jets' first winning season in over a decade?
I believe so. I believe you will see the first winning season. Now, what total number will be in the end, I have no idea.
No. There's only... So you think it'll be more than 9?
That's it. 9 or more.
It's got to be 9 or more.
He's saying 9 or more.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They
You
got
put a little wager on this?
Look, man, they got players
Yeah.
on both ends.
They did last year, too.
But they didn't have a coaching staff
Yeah.
That's true.
that could understand how to get it done. One thing I could tell you about Aaron Glenn is not going to be cute. He ain't doing all that cutesy
No TikTok dancing?
mess. Man, he ain't going to be doing all that. Look, and then on top of that, Sauce Gardner telling you they not playing. They going and signing dudes and bringing in guys. You talk about the big splash in Justin Fields. That's a hell of a signing, man. People look at his...
What you said? He over here like, hey, I got these watches.
You're so stupid. I'm selling it. No, I'm not.
Hey, y'all, I got these watches over here.
No, I'm not. Think about it. Justin Fields in Chicago was in a dysfunctional situation with these coaches and stuff. He was. Then he goes 4-2 in Pittsburgh.
Had some play,
and they didn't see some of the things that they wanted to see. Now, whether or not it was because he wasn't executing it or they just didn't feel the comfort level into calling that stuff, Joy. Now you over there with a guy that looks at him and goes, he got a little bit of Jalen Hurts in him. And Jalen Hurts is coming off winning the Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody say. I'm looking at the dude and I'm watching his ability to run, his ability to throw at times. Now you got a young receiver in Garrett Wilson. They have to get another guy in and draft another guy, but and they sitting around waiting for people to get released to make those decisions. But you got a young dude in Garrett Wilson that's going to be a New York Jet for the long haul.
Right.
And you got a defense with Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams and company. I'm telling y'all, you're looking at the last history of them in terms of winning was the last time in 2015 with Todd Bowles, they was 10-6. But the last time they made the playoffs was 2010 with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez.
And it is 2025.
I got to erase all of that. I got to erase all that just because of this quarterback pairing him with that head coach.
Well, I mean, we've seen organizations that have struggled turn around quickly and in a year.
Look, Joy, I was 1-15. Okay?
Yeah.
One season later, we was 9-7. The next season, we was the AFC.
Say why.
Because of the coaching. And we made a quarterback switch to Vinny Testaverde. But the same core of players was in play, and we brought in Vinny.
Who was in the division?
Everybody. Miami, the same team, same people.
The division is what's interesting to me. I'm more optimistic than I've been in a long time about what the Jets can do because of the coaching and because of Justin Fields. Now, I don't know how good he's going to be, but I don't think he's going to be as bad as Aaron Rodgers was last year. And being that he's young, he's going to finally get the opportunity to really be in a functional situation as the guy, because obviously he was the guy in Chicago, but he wasn't in a functional situation. They have a lot of talent. That's why people were completely unrealistic about what Aaron Rodgers was going to be able to do with them. 9 is a lot of games, but I do think that when you look at the division, it's interesting. We know what the Bills are going to be. Let's just put them over there, right? We assume the Bills are going to win the division and they're going to come back as competitive as they have been. Who knows what the Dolphins are going to be?
If they're healthy, I got Miami's pretty dang good.
They are, but nobody's talking about what Miami's going to do. Maybe they'll be good, maybe they won't. We don't know. The Patriots could be better, but maybe they're still in a rebuilding situation. So if the Jets are going to make a jump, it's not. All I'm saying is the division isn't impossible.
Right. No.
I do think that this year it could be interesting if the Jets can put it together. I still think that's a lot of games. I don't think he has to do that in order for it to be a success.
No, he doesn't. It's a slow
How many
growth.
games do you have, Joy?
I think they win 8 games.
And I stretch for 8.
My goodness.
I stretch for 8. I give them 7. I go 7.
Why, though?
What do you mean why? They were 5-12 this year.
Yeah, but why?
This year, because I believe right now what will happen, all of it you're talking is going to happen, but there's going to be some turnover and changing to get it done. There's not going to be a walk-in and we're right here. So Aaron Glenn's going to have to go in and scrape up some of the junk and get it out of there.
No, that's true.
And bring in more of his place
That's
and
true.
his thing. And it's going to take a good year.
Yeah.
It's going to take a year.
That's what I think.
Some guys are going to try. Some guys
Wait,
are going to try.
Can we move the walking to work bet to this? 9 games?
You gonna walk?
No, I'm not walking nowhere.
9 games would be oof.
Are you willing to
put that
bet
on?
on 9
Back to
games?
selling watches again. That's what he said. Ain't no walking on that 9
I got this
games.
jet watch for you. It's one of
That's
the best.
what you was doing. That's what you was doing.
No, I'm not, man. They got pieces.
It'll be
to
tough.
play.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough for them to get to 9 games. But I also believe in Keith's enthusiasm about this young man finally having a situation that he can settle into. He played some pretty good football in Chicago before going to Pittsburgh, but it was always a tough situation and a tumultuous situation. Him behind Aaron Glenn, I can't wait to
You
see.
got coaches, new coordinators,
That's my
changing
thing.
all the time.
For a
It's crazy.
franchise,
9
an
wins, I don't
organization
see.
who haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade,
Not
and
9.
within 1 year of hauling a new coach who's unproven, a new quarterback who's unproven, and say we're going to win the division or get to the
Well,
we're not going to win the division.
I don't know that the
This
quarterback is
division-
unproven. I don't know
He's on
that.
his-
He won games in this league,
He
man.
hasn't played significant amount of games for me to say this is who he is. We still trying to figure out who he is as a quarterback.
You
Like,
you're
really?
trying to
Like,
figure
he
out.
won 4 games last year, but it was like,
Still
that was
developing.
put on the defense's back for the most part.
Right.
He
Pittsburgh.
did what he needed to do.
Yeah, I understand that. But it's hard for me to believe that in the first year, the turnover is going to be like, oh, we just going to jump to the playoffs in an organization who hasn't made the playoffs, who hasn't won a playoff game in over 14 years, around 14 years. To say, in the first year, they're going to do this. I think there's going to be a progression. Will they
Like
be better?
Michael
I
said-
think they'll be better.
Like Michael
Then
said,
better is like 7 or 8 wins, and you build on that.
Right, and you
That
build
would
on
be
it.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's right.
And that would be good. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I'm just, over optimistic
You are
about
more-
what it is.
yeah.
I'm a little more optimistic, let's just say that, about what they are, because I know too much.
What is success?
That's
know
your
what
man that you played with, and you over here sitting up here at the desk
Right.
giving us this.
Right.
I got
And he's
these
going to
watches.
be measured.
I
He's
just
going to be
know
measured.
too much. Let's just put it that
And he's
way.
going to be measured. But that's what we're asking. What's the success for Aaron Glenn and
Better
Justin
than what
Fields
they
in
were
his first
last year to
And
settle things down.
If you get the 7 games that's above the 5 and 12 you were this year, you see that as progress.
7, 8
And
wins
you-
is a good
Right.
season.
I think 7, 8 wins, and you feel like you have your quarterback of the future.
And we're
is a
moving
massive
forward.
win.
It's
And we're
massive.
moving
Right.
on.
Yeah.
We're moving.
There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with that. I take
Right.
that all day long.
Right.
I'm just reaching for
Yeah,
the sky.
but
for my
that's
dude.
not a winning season.
No, that's a winning season.
No.
No, not record-wise, but a winning
Yeah, but
season.
we are
because
asking.
of-
We're asking record.
I'm cleaning the deck. I'm scrubbing it with the SOS pads and the 409. I'm getting rid of all the sticks.
All
that
of
shit.
it.
All
we
of
agree with, but just technically speaking, it's got to be 9. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.